the thinking studio?
The ideas in general, well, first some reflection on the days before, 2 days,
That's
and
good.
then also assess a bit of the group needs, what they need for the thinking studio, and in general to reflect some good formation.
Yes, and do you have any ideas already on how you're going about this?
Yeah.
Throw up something just to have an idea.
What do we have? We have let me open the right tab on my computer. We have basically like a care session. So it's basically getting people to talk about like what their feelings are after the 2 days, how they're feeling, what they like about it, what they don't like, sharing feelings. Like we would split maybe into smaller groups, maybe 2 groups of 5, just a bit more intimate, or 6, or how many people are. And then the point is that we, as we're talking, we also model in some sense like a kind of more of a little bit like caring atmosphere and a bit more a feeling of like intimacy somehow. So that we already start to model that people can share their feelings in the group. On the first 2 days, this won't really be an issue, but like 6 months down the line,
Yeah.
people will need an outlet
Mm.
to talk about frustrations that they have, and it's good to already build in a system of kind of mutual, like a
They know,
ethos of mutual support,
yeah, that
basically,
they
and
know
sharing.
that at the end of every twin day, because we call this twin days, at the end of every twin day sessions, there is this moment of caring and of reflection and of feedback, and that it's built in right from the start. But
Yeah.
is there some playfulness as well? Do you think, or is this not yet the right
We
moment?
don't really have like so we wanted to have like maybe half an hour of like reflecting on the lectures, and then we have like an time to do this kind of like care session. Takes about like 20 minutes, 25 minutes or something. And then we talked about maybe like doing like an assessment of like needs, like what we might need in the group, like a conversation about what these sessions can be for actually,
Yeah,
these
and,
end sessions.
and ask them also about their expectations. Were.
Yeah. So we already, from this question of care, we already start talking about what needs are and how they can kind of proactively start to build agreements or activities to use this time. So this thinking studio is framed as partly like a sense making time, partly a time to make sense of the material they're gathering, but also partly a time to kind of digest it and digest the whole experience of the school of thinking. So the first session is really just about framing that. I don't think there's necessarily a lot of time for games. It can be that in future sessions we build that becomes the way that we digest.
Yeah, or a moment of meditation, or like throwing a ball at somebody and saying, "I would like to."
Yeah, I think at the moment he included some icebreakers and more like meditative stuff, or like some shaking.
Well, we put in here some like some grounding, breathing, for example, for 1 minute, or like putting your hand on your chest and feeling your body, and just
the
like
thing
grounding.
With the ball is also nice. I like that. Yeah.
The ball. Oh, that's in the morning. That was
but
planned
you
for the
can
morning.
maybe use that. You can recuperate that maybe also.
Yeah, we can see if we want more like meditative or more like.
It probably might depend on the atmosphere.
Yeah, you can see on the atmosphere. Maybe people feel more like just a little bit of movement and not being so serious.
Is there a moment where this like portfolio and stuff is going to get discussed? If that's still a thing?
We have not yet completely decided.
I think the idea is more now to assess a bit. I'm speaking. The idea is now to more assess what are their needs and have a bit of an input of like how they might best see this portfolio, and then have these 2 weeks to make this portfolio and present the portfolio in 2 weeks.
The point is that we're not yet clear about what the portfolio exactly is going to be. And we had a conversation with Masai, but they started the portfolio, but as a purely formal tool, it never really took ground. So what I in any case will introduce tomorrow is the idea that they keep for themselves in a format of their own choosing a kind of intellectual or formal or experiential diary of the event. And then we can, and then I'm speaking now, and then we can continue what you said. We can find out over the next weeks what exactly we will put in the portfolio in a more formal way, and we can add this while going, because actually we are still discovering this ourselves.
I think the portfolio is useful as a tool to at the end to say, here there is evidence that the student has actually done things.
Like two things. One thing is we were also thinking to have like a collective document where, for example, each student is responsible for one session, but everyone can add like reflections per session. Another thing is I can share a bit what I understood how the portfolio worked, because it was not just a diary people had to. They were like 3 portfolio tasks.
I know that, but it never worked. That's what Masa is it.
I think but we should talk with Mashak. I think he said in the beginning there was like a diary to have like which was just continuous, and that didn't work. And then they moved to having 3 portfolio tasks, where it was like in the end of December you need to have that. At the end of the year you need to have like everything finished. And we should check with my checking how far that worked or not.
Yeah, I agree. But the point is they had a formal kind of document that they wanted to use as a portfolio. And that did not really.
It's so complicated.
Yeah, we should
get it.
Because he was saying like the first year we did it like that and didn't work, but they also had portfolios afterwards. We should talk with my check what exactly worked and didn't work.
And that's true. And in any case, we don't have to do what they did. But I think that inviting the students to keep some track of their journey is in itself a good idea. And then, and there I agree that the tasks or the work forms that at some point they will be invited to do or to participate in will become part of the portfolio as well. There will be a little dossier for every student in any case. And if there is a setup for something more collective that can be introduced at some point as well, we should just not make it too overload, but I think it's a good idea. And that can also be part of the portfolio. And then you have already 3 things. The diary, which is just the way they want it themselves. I mean, they're not, or the opdrachten, how do you say this in English? The tasks that they do. It's not the idea like in the secondary school that they have to make homework all the time, but they will make some tasks. That and then this collective effort, and that's already more than enough, I think, right?
Maybe it's because there isn't like a passing and failing, right, of the course. You just
well, yes and no. It's a postgraduate, it's an official degree, so you can fail. But the failing is in this case when you don't show up without read anything, when you make a failure of everything that isn't offered you to invite to participate in the work of the course. There will be only maybe in the beginning they had a kind of quiz kind of stuff that resembles vaguely an exam.
Kind of a multiple choice.
Yeah, there might be something like this, but for the rest there will be no formal exams. But the idea is that their contribution in the class and the portfolio will allow us to say, okay, you did your job. This was interesting in many respects to the program. That's the idea, correct?
And okay. I can see that with the portfolio thing, it would be nice to because writing and like keeping notes is a form of thinking. And so it would be nice if that became like somehow like a kind of experiment space as well for like experimenting with these kinds of thinking.
Okay.
Like, how do you keep notes?
Yes.
How do you record things?
Yes.
Do you do it visually? Do you do it?
They are allowed to do visual things. They are allowed to do audio things.
So it's like, and there could be some kind of regular moments of sharing where, as well as kind of recapping, they're effectively sharing their methodologies for recording and for thinking through writing.
This could be part of the thinking studio.
Well,
yeah.
In my course, I very briefly go over.
It's a good idea.
The extended mind, that means externalizing your thoughts, for which you can use an outline, a mind map, simple note take, graphics. So I will very.
Yeah, but that